Okay, hi guys. Hello everyone. And we are here 6 months on from yes, I'll just wait a little bit. But yes, we are here 6 months on from a very significant thing that happened in SLR the league. 6 months on from the sad passing of our good friend Callum McKeon. And yes, Callum was a great figure in the league, and well, we did all of those races for him back then, which were simply brilliant, really. What we did, and well, just showed kind of how much Callum meant to everyone. And yeah, 6 months on from his tragic and sudden passing, we will always remember him as a league, and we are doing a bit of a race, a little bit of an occasion to mark that. Personally, me and Callum sometimes didn't particularly get on too well, but ultimately, I don't really think you can really care about that because ultimately he was an incredible guy, and we didn't get on well sometimes, but we got on very well sometimes, and we always had a lot of respect for each other. And it's kind of really tricky to kind of sum up the words when something like that happens. But yeah, Callum as a person, incredibly infectious, and 6 months after, just a tragedy, really. It's really cool to we to just say, well, thank you, Callum, for being you when you were you, and thank you for what you did, who you are, and this kind of race to say that, like, even though he's not here, he is here most definitely in spirit. And yes, and initially now we're going to have a minute silence to kind of gather our thoughts. And yeah, so I'm gonna start the minute silence now, and we'll just anybody wants to post anything in the chat about how Callum meant to you in the chat whilst this minute silence is happening, then now would be a good time to do it. And yes, that is that done. And yeah, hello Corey. I mean, first of all, like anything you want to personally say. Yes. I think what I'm going to do now as the formation lap starts is I'm gonna read some passages from his very close friends. I'll start off with Owen. I'll just turn the car volume down. That's completely irrelevant. Um, Owen has said that yeah, and so I'll just read out his words just in entirety. He said, "I still remember the feeling when we received the news of Callum's passing. He felt so empty and had no words. I mean, yeah, and it was especially hard as well. There was a race on at the time because it happened on a Sunday, an elite division, which is now of course the McKeon division race. And he looked on his phone and obviously read the news then, and it's just yeah." Um, and he said he's mad to think it's been 6 whole months without him, and yeah, a very challenging time, and the first time he's lost someone close to him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, everyone at some point in their life has that feeling, and I mean, yeah, it's kind of in a way indescribable. That kind of feeling, and yeah, definitely, and yeah, it's very very difficult. And he's saying, yeah, meeting Callum's family. Remember when he had kind words from Callum's family, all reminiscing together, and just yeah, all in tears together. And yeah, that I guess is probably a good time to just mention, just in general with that, quite an important message is like, yeah, it's like it is definitely okay if there's significant moments to kind of just let your guard down a bit, let genuine emotions out, and yeah, that is something that ultimately you can't particularly keep bottled up within, and yeah, like yeah, that's something that's very very important to do. And he's saying that he never really truly had realised the impact that Callum had on his racing until his passing, and he helped him out massively far back in season 4 and got him soaring points more often, and then was helping Owen in his return to Division 1, which of course culminated in his victory at Russia last week, and I'm sure Callum would have very much loved that, and yeah, just generally just taught Owen about racing and everything to do with that. Sending people for a hot dog. I remember that kind of phrase from Callum all too often, and yeah, that is exactly what he taught Owen to do with his racing, and yeah. He's been he's sport ever since the day he passed. He's been generally just sporting a reference to Callum. He's been so influential to Owen and to everyone else in the league, and the win most definitely meant a lot to Owen, as I've said, and of course because of Callum, of course. Even though we don't have him with us, Owen said, always be part of. It'll always be part of. It'll always be part of their family, and just wants to take time to just thank him, as I did. He'll be forever in Owen's heart, as I'm sure he'll be in all of ours, and want to represent him whatever way we possibly can. Yes, and now some words for Beast. And well, I mean, you can't call Callum without calling him Quiche as well, like McKeish. I don't really know how that nickname started. I'd quite like to ask someone how that nickname started, but yeah, he's saying that Quiche was one of few drivers who always gave everything in every single race that he took part in. When you race wheel to wheel, you knew you wouldn't be an easy overtake, nor would it be easy to defend from him. Being his teammate in Season 4 taught Beast many things about online racing. Main thing, never giving up, and the mentality is ultimately what won them the Constructors' Championship in 2009 in the F1 2019 game in Season 4, and I believe it was Season 4, and yeah, that is a championship that Beast will continue to treasure. The Racing Point team, I believe that was, in the 2019 game. Him and Keish in the top of Division 2 at the time, which is now Division 1. Off-track, Keish was always there for him, and anyone else who needed the support. I can say about personally as well. When I went through a bit of a tough time, left the league for a little bit, Keish was one of the people who did generally just message me, and I mean, like, that is something. It's a small thing. I'd never knew him as close as anyone like Beast or Liam or Smoke or Southerner or Owen, of course, but yeah, and or Ranga or all of those, Bennett, like just all of that group. I never knew him as close as them, but the fact that he did say that does kind of speak magnitudes, I think, to the character he was. And he's saying yeah, and even with that support, had a job going from place to place, 3 kids, his wife, his partner Chloe. He definitely had his controversial moments, which Beast may have indirectly learned from himself. But more than that, made up for it with actions behind the scenes, Discord admin, F2 admin, Division 1 admin, steward, you name it, he was doing within the league. There'd be uplifting messages of people after races, there'd be checking in on people who are having a rough time, as I mentioned myself. He said, keep racing hard, brother, and Beast will keep on riding up Race Roller for him. Yeah. Yeah, that's Beast's words. Some words from Southerner as well. It's been saying that he's still not quite used to seeing Callum's name pop up on his phone, saying that he wished he was here for England's World Cup. England's World Cup ever nearly triumph, of course. And, of course, the Max vs. Lewis finale. I know wherever Callum is now, he'd potentially be absolutely loving that, I have no doubt. And yeah, he said it could have done with him in the group chat with Max versus Lewis debates. Saying that obviously their group has met up a few times, seeing Callum's family and creating memories in his honour, and he'd have absolutely loved to have. I'm sure he'd have absolutely loved to have been there, and yeah, of course, a shame he is not. They plan to do this for as long as they can, and yeah, he'd definitely enjoy that. He's saying he's missing him inside and outside of the world of SLR. Of course, Formula 2, with them both being Formula 2 admins, and saying that he hoped he enjoyed the Monza feature race, which I believe was a Beast Darnell Southerner podium. P.S. We got the bus up, man, Chiliad. Love you, bro. Some words from Liam as well, saying he still finds it hard to come to terms with the fact that you are gone, but you're definitely never forgotten. Always a pleasure to be around both on and off the track. It's a massive part of the community and remains today to be admired by so many. The great memories we shared. Liam says, I miss you, brother. You're as good as an admin as he could have ever asked. Couldn't have done it without him. Liam's right-hand man, the Discord admins, the Discord moderators, the Div 1 admins, together. And yeah. There's just a few words from some of those guys who were closest to Callum. And yes, we're in this race, and unfortunately there's been a few things like livery glitches, for example, but if we scroll through, we'll see everyone: Astro, Jib Jab, Shut Medal, Bennett, Fempest aka Dorsey, Charlie, Badders, Xhaka, Southerner, Andre Czech, Liam, Crispy, Barlow. Unfortunately, Nicky's livery has not worked properly. Owen, Ranga, Smoke, and Latifi, all sporting liveries with a bit of purple on them. Purple was his colour, and yeah, we're having this race to kind of commemorate and remember him. So yeah. Seeing people in the chat saying, Jazza Boy said we never drove or spoke with him, but it's amazing how he's remembered. It's awesome to be able to race under his name and knowing what he loved to do. It's such a touching story. I don't know who Jazza Boy is, but no, he's racing under his name, a McKeon division driver. Yes, indeed. Like the McKeon division, I said at the time it was a bit of irony. Corey, it's quite a funny story actually. I'll probably share with you as well. Callum was always known as one of the biggest sandbaggers in the league, and yeah, was always like people questioning, well, hang on a minute, why haven't you moved up to the top division? Whatever, that kind of a thing. Always a laugh, and he'd always go along with it. He'd always play along with it. And the McKeon division's obviously the top division, and now he's named after. And now the top division is named after him, a division that he never really wanted to be in. I think that's kind of this perfect level of irony that I'm sure he would have found quite funny. I think. I think with that.
Yeah, I have to definitely agree. Hearing that, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously him, yeah. And at the moment, SLR Fempest is leading the race, and I believe actually, I think Dorsey might, is he back on the wheel? He's either back on the wheel or he's on the pad at the moment, but I know that kind of brings me to another thing of Callum, like specifically with his racing, I remember, is he somehow managed to switch between using controller and wheel between races sometimes, and I always thought that was a bit mental, and didn't really believe it at first when I heard it, but it's just like, it's very, very interesting. Was able to perform at the level, winning the races that he did. Most recently, yeah, getting most recent podiums. Most recently, of course, his final ever race in Formula 2 at least, where he got a podium in the sprint race, and yeah, was somehow able to switch between the machinery and stuff. But yeah. Good to see everyone here, though, that is for sure. Even some new arrivals, of course, the likes of Astro, Shut Medal, Andre, Latifi, who have arrived here since, who arrived there in that 6 months, and yeah, obviously hear the various stories about Callum and whatever. And I mean, I think it is really cool that even though there are people that were not in the league at the time when at the time that he was here, can still recognise just kind of what an impact he had to the league.
Yeah, I have to agree with you with that. Like, including myself as well, joining within those 6 months, it's just really heartwarming to see the amount of new people we've got in here that are, racing in Callum's honour. It's amazing to see.
Yes, indeed. And we've got quite a good fight for the lead as well. He'd want us to talk about the racing. He wouldn't want to just make it be all about himself. We've got quite a good fight for the lead going on between Crispy and Astro at the moment. Although Crispy picking up 14 seconds of penalties. You're right, Crispy. But yeah, Crispy and Astro very, very close. Fighting hard together. And I think Crispy and Callum himself, I think I saw in the montage that Owen did. It was a brilliant 4-minute montage. Crispy and Callum were all... Crispy and Callum were both fighting with each other for victories at the time in Division 2, which is now's Division 1. And yeah, a couple of the victories I've seen Crispy's name there, so it's like... It's cool. Yeah. Words. And yeah, so in this race, in this race at the moment, Crispy is in the lead from Astro, from Jib Jab, from Nikki, from Shut Metal, from Charlie, with SLR Fembest and SLR Southerner charging them down on the soft compound tyres.
Indeed, and remember we are going to have the final lap is going to be a final formation lap where I believe everyone's going to slow down and bunch up together for a final lap of Callum's honour as well.
Yes, indeed. That'll be very, very cool to see. As at the moment, I think Barlow is thinking about trying to move on Liam. I'm not sure he's sticking in the slipstream. There's a bit of a train here. I can tell Barlow thought about that. Oh, as Bennett runs wide, Ranga on the back of Bennett. Is he going to make the move? Move here? No, he's got absolutely no ERS, does Ranga. And Beast could potentially have the pair of them here if he uses his battery. He's thinking about a move to the inside of Ranga. Oh, nearly makes contact. That is a good save, that from Beast. Zion picks up a penalty. Wow, there's a lot of penalties this race. But yeah. As Liam's had a bit of a spin. Liam has had a bit of a spin. And Beast is sending it up the inside of Ranga. Oh, that's not a clean move. As Bennett is choosing to give Beast the slipstream and not Ranga. I think he must have slid a fiver in his pocket before the race. But Ranga is going to send one, and the Ranga bus is still coming out.
There's a change to the lead as well. Crispy and Astro having a good battle for the lead now.
Yeah, they're going side by side. Hopefully they don't hit each other like they did in Portimao. That'd be a bit awkward. And Charlie's doing quite well as well. He's in P7. Not got any penalties. Division 2 Charlie, of course. As Bennett again gives Beast the slipstream. As Beast. Oh, that is a big lunge. Oh. That is a big lunge from Beast. And Bennett has ended up spinning as a result. Oh. And he spun again.
Oh.
Bennett is not having a good time whatsoever. Down in P18. Poor Bennett.
Brilliant race so far. But what the dive from Beast. I think it was on Ranga. I think you might have got the call just a little bit, but still, thank you, work. This is amazing. That's very funny. Kind of like various 5-lap open lobbies that have been done for a while now, and go for some super clean moves. This has got a flag, and that is that Bennett again? Yes, it is. He's off the track. And Asker and Crispy are still fighting it out. As Southern has got past Charlie.
Czech's trying a bit of a lunge, makes a bit of contact. He's not going for a UK Beast Assassin level lunge, is Czech, but he certainly thought about it. That is for sure. And who has the most penalties? The honour of the most penalties at the moment is Beast. So I think him and Ranga are... I think they are slowing up now. And we'll kind of begin a little bit of formation, just as Beast picks up another penalty. He's got to be very, very careful not to get himself disqualified. If he does, that'll make for quite a funny final lap. Yeah, we could. Jazza Boy is shut medal, apparently. Okay. I see. And yes, indeed, of course, recent addition to the McKeon division. Anything more you want to say, Corey? As Crispy retakes the lead.
I'm just watching everyone just bunch up now for this final lap, really, in a battle between Ranga and Beast.
How much is Beast going to send it here, then?
He's
Oh!
So I don't think he's going to get Ranga.
I think he'll still send it. I think he'll still send it.
I wouldn't be surprised going to the end of the straight, he does send it. No, he has held back sensibly. There is yellow flags. I think Tempest has lost a few positions.
Oh, it's Czech. Oh, Czech's AI, isn't he? Czech's disconnected.
Ranga's just brake checked Bradders. They're all bunching up now.
These guys are now bunching up.
Yeah, that's great to see. There's a few drivers in front of them, most of them are in fan pass as well.
Yes, and of course some of these guys might not be realising what's happening, so can't particularly. But yeah, the drivers here who are very close to Callum, Fempest, Ranga, Southerner, Beast, Liam, Owen, Bennett, and Smoke, who's just going to catch up fairly shortly. All close to Callum, all close to his family, and yes, doing a lap on formation, just. And look at that, that's really cool.
It is. This is amazing to see. Callum would be proud of every single one of these drivers.
Yes. And I think there's also an additional formation further up the field as well. Something that's completely independent to all of these. As Crispy is slowed down and yeah, they're all going. They're all in a formation here, P2, completely independently of the rest. That's very, very cool actually. That they have slowed down completely separately from Callum's friends and are doing their own separate formation themselves to round off this race. As they're still getting penalties in this formation.
Yeah, they're getting penalties for illegal blocking, corner cutting, and everything else, but yeah, that's a lovely touch from the rest of the pack within their own formation as well. So a big thank you to them as well.
Yeah, yes, and Sharp wants to thank you for inviting him to the league, as Czech's AI has won the race, unfortunately. Disconnected, so, but yeah, we're now just witnessing the formation that's being led by Charlie, Crispy, Xhaka, all coming up to cross the line now. a Southerner now leads the rest of them over, and yes, not particularly sure that there is words, really, but yeah, that was class.
It was a big thank you to everyone.
That was class. I didn't expect that near the top, because I don't think everyone was fully told or made aware of the. Oh no, not yeah. I wasn't really sure. Everyone was really aware of it, but they still noticed the others from near the back of the field, so down in formation, and did the same themselves. I'm gonna invite Ranga in the party now, and Ranga will say something. But yeah, yes, we were just saying that the others near the front of the field doing their own formation, and I don't think they were potentially aware that was really cool. That was really cool. Like that a lot. As Ranga, Southerner. Don't know if any others are coming in the party.
Just us, I believe.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, I'll leave it to you. Just what do you want to say, mate?
Well, just wanted to start off by thanking you for both of you for doing the stream. For something that's so important and personal to a lot of us within the league. So firstly, thank you guys for doing that. It obviously can't be an easy thing to do. I personally had a great time, and it's nice to be able to be on track with some of the guys that made this all what it is to me. And Callum was a big part of that, and obviously, do anything to be able to be out there racing with him again. But it's nice that we can all come together and remember him in this way, and the ways that we do on a regular basis. And I'm extremely proud of the whole league and just everyone associated with our sort of little friendship group, whatever you want to call it. Ever since it's sort of the news broke and what's happened in the last 6 months, it's been quite it's been obviously a roller coaster in many different ways. As far as I'm concerned, it's allowed for us to get to know Cam's family on to a really sort of nice and good extent, where there's some of them now are extremely close to me and important parts of my life, and I'm sure some of the other boys would say exactly the same. It's been lovely that something so beautiful has been able to spring up from something so tragic, and sort of pays tribute to the guys that were all, sort of my group of friends. Really, is that we're such a special group of people that we've allowed for this to happen, and I'm do anything to be able to have them back, but obviously we can't do that. But it's just nice to be able to remember him doing what he loved to do, what he spent hours and stupid amounts of time doing, whether it be obviously F1 or God knows what it may be. But it's just nice to remember him, and we're never going to forget him, and we're never going to allow that to happen. We'll be obviously doing something when it comes to the 1 year anniversary. That'll probably be on a much grander scale than the 6 month one. Obviously, it's just nice after 6 months to remind everyone that why we're doing what we're doing, and that the league is a lot more than just turn up at the weekend and race, or turn up for the esports teams and race. It's a lot more than that, and it's quite comforting, I think, personally, is that God forbid if anything happened to me, it would be nice to think that people would be doing something similar, and it's special, and not just for me, but for anyone really. It's special, and it's I know it's just a lovely thing to be a part of, and I'm incredibly proud of everyone really, and that's pretty much all I've got to say.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm sure as well. Something I caught in the race. You and Beast doing a few dive bombs at each other. I'm sure he'd be laughing at that. I'm sure he'd definitely be laughing at that.
That and me and Bennett crashed into each other twice. That was
Oh, yep,
yeah.
yep. Very clean racing.
Oh
Very
yeah,
clean.
no. I had an absolute blast out there with the guys. It's so lovely to be back out there again. And obviously, quite funny that I don't know, it's been like don't race like idiots, but you know, if I didn't race like an idiot, then something would be wrong, and Callum would be the first person to tell you that after all the collisions we had down the years. So.
Yeah, get in the Ranger bus out.
Gotta be done, isn't it? Really, it's traditions, isn't it?
Indeed. Yeah. I guess Matt as well. Matt, you're in the party.
Yeah.
Fellow F2 admin of Callum, of course. So yeah. How are you, mate? How are you?
Yeah.
Just
Not bad. That was a good laugh. I reckon that was exactly what Callum would have wanted. Especially with what Rich and Bennett were doing at the back and all the dive bombs. To go off script a bit and see stuff like that. That's sort of the stuff he would have loved to have seen. Yeah, it's a great tribute in honour of Callum. He'll never be forgotten. We'll certainly make sure everyone else in the server doesn't forget that. 'Cause, again, we won't. Yeah, since it's crazy to think that it's been 6 months. It still feels like yesterday. But yeah, a lot of what really what I've got to say is similar to what Ranga said. Really, we've just got really close with his family. We've been hearing their memories of him. We've been sharing our memories, and it's just been a big laugh. We've all got close. Their family is well and truly part of the SLR family, which is amazing. Yeah, like I mentioned in the messages, I think you read out earlier, it's not been the same, especially the days of Formula 2. Before one-shot quality, we'd be doing time trial, and it would more or less be like a record player at Callum, just be saying the same stuff. I ult 3 temps up, ult 4 temps up and getting better, and then when he'll bottle it in the last second, he'll rage. Yeah, it's still difficult to sink him. Is it getting easier over time? I think I'm just more getting stronger about it. But, yeah,
I think it's like something I think it's like something one of my family members has said since. Also, kind of like when you like something like this happens, it's like you can't really move on in a sense.
No.
It's always there with you and a part of your life, and
It's just
it's
learning
like
to live with it.
it's very important. Like, yeah, exactly.
But I think what's certainly made it easier is creating more memories in his honour. Again, we're all meeting up.
It's been mega. It's been mega, really. Just what's happened.
All the laughs. There's no doubt that he'd be around somewhere laughing at us, calling us clowns, and just sharing.
Especially Dorsey with the things in his nose.
Yeah, and knowing that we with the football tournament and like the charity or the fundraiser, sorry, we did for his family, he'd be proud of us, and that's certainly something that that's what I look at whenever it gets me down a bit. He'd be proud of us. He'd raise a smile, and yeah, we'll keep on doing that for forever.
Indeed. I think, yeah. Liam Owen are in here as well.
Waiting for him to say
Yes. But yeah.
yes.
Have you ticked your box, Liam? You plan?
Yeah. I'm still mate.
Go on. The floor's yours, Liam. Come on, let's have it.
But it's just difficult. Big part of the community gone, and just have to keep on in.
Mentioned it in the server, I think earlier today or yesterday, but knowing his last Formula 2 race and his last Formula 1 race, which I definitely greatly remember, I was in the party with Liam. He was so buzzing. He was absolutely loving it. Like always, even on the bad days, by the next day, he'd be willing to bounce back, which most of the time he did. And to say that I was in a championship battle with him was an absolute honour. It was brilliant. Didn't do the rivalry bit right, I must admit. It was too friendly, but that's just Callum in a nutshell. He just didn't have a bad bone in his body, and you just couldn't dislike the guy. You could only have so much respect for him, and it's what made him one in a million. I think everyone else would agree.
I would agree.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah. Very. I guess the right word is just. He's just a character. Like they're just like you knew exactly like what we were doing, whatever. Like when Big Kim was in the party or whatever, like doing Among Us or whatever. Just like anything he did, like he was a character, and yeah, very person definitely you definitely like someone that's impossible to forget, really. Yeah. I think that, I mean, like, unless someone wants to say anything, I think
But from what
might be.
from what I'm aware of, you've already said everything I kind of had to say anyway, which is
Yeah.
not good. So, all right.
Yeah, and I think potentially be rounding things off now. Yeah. I mean, thanks to everyone attending. Thanks to everyone in the league, of course, as Ranga said, of just putting this on today. Very, very short notice. Last couple of days, we've had pretty much a full grid of people straight in, purple liveries everywhere, and the formation at the end. It's really, really cool, and yeah.
It's just it doesn't surprise me really. It's nice that people have been so happy to come and support everything really. The league, Callum. It's such short notice. It's really nice. So yeah, thank you to everyone who attended. Thanks to you guys for doing the stream. We'll be doing a lot more stuff when it comes to when it ticks around to the 1 year anniversary, I'm sure. So if anyone wants to get involved, obviously you know how to. But yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Yes. Thank you everyone, and we're also doing an SLR team race in 10 minutes, and we'll be using purple liveries for that as well, of course, for Callum. So yes. Thank you everyone for being a part of this, and yeah.